Those of you who haven't seen Star Wars, if there's something that you can get from my talk, watch Star Wars. It will change your life. Okay, one of my favorite scenes is from Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awaken. It's the interrogation scene where Rey, a female scavenger from the land of Jakka, was strapped in her chair, being interrogated by this dark figure, Kylo Ren. He wanted classified information, and he was using the Force to get it. "You know I can take anything I want," he said. "I'm not giving you anything," she replied. There was tension between the two, and then at some point of the scene, Rey realizes that she had the Force too. So she started using it against him. "You're afraid that you'll never be like Darth Vader." I feel that's what drama does. There's a moment where you're performing, you're on stage, and then you realize the Force is in you. And the Force is like confidence. Confidence matters. What you think of yourself impacts the way you relate with each other or the way you run your life every single day. Fortune 500 says that confidence is the outcome of the thoughts that we think and the actions that we take. The problem is, according to Psychology Today, confident children don't necessarily become confident adults because in the age of adolescence, they experience a sense of diminishing, a feeling of shrinking that negatively affects self-worth. You can see this in body language. The tense shoulders, droopy shoulders, eyes making eye contact with the floor, shaky legs, shifting the weight, shifting back and forth, or hunched shoulders. You probably have seen it in the hallway, yes? Or you've seen yourself do it in the mirror. It's not easy being in high school. I remember that. Do you think China is big? I went to Rizal High School. The Guinness Book of World Records call it the largest secondary school in the whole world from 1993 to 2004. There were 19,607 students in my high school. Yeah. If not for drama, I would have drowned in a sea of students. Hope came to me when our sophomore class was tasked to do the sound of music. The thing was, there was no internet and we had no script. So I volunteered to transcribe a 3-hour musical. I watched, paused, typed in my typewriter, and transcribed the whole thing. Do you know how long that took? Enough for Julie Andrews to be the voice in my head. But since I knew the musical by heart, it gave me the courage to audition, and I got the role of Liesel. There was a moment on stage when I was singing, "I am 16, going on 17, that the whole auditorium was watching me. For the first time in my life, I felt that people were really looking at me. But I didn't feel scared. I felt powerful. I felt the Force. And it felt great. And I see this story reflected in the lives of so many of my students, like Louisa Song. Louisa was a very shy student when I met her in 6th grade. Then I started the middle school drama program at the International School of Beijing, and the first musical that I directed was Disney's Mulan Jr. because it was set in China. Louisa took 2 years to develop her confidence to audition, and finally in 8th grade, she tried. She was shocked when she was called back. I mean, she didn't expect to be called back for the lead character. She just wanted to be a part of it. But we saw something in her that she didn't see in herself. We had 3 sold-out shows. And after one of her shows, her teacher came up to me almost in tears, and she said, "When I saw Louisa on stage singing and dancing, I almost fell off my chair." And I'm like, "Why?" "Well, when Louisa came to ISB in elementary school, she barely spoke for several months. I honestly thought she was mute. So the first time she said something, I made my whole class stop we did a happy dance. So how did this student, who is almost speechless, transform into this lead singer and actress in a musical? How does that magic happen? Let's take a peek behind the show curtain, because drama is a bigger understanding of what it means to be human. It gives you the chance to find your voice. It allows you to make peace with your body, and it allows you to connect authentically, meaningfully, and deeply with others. It works on your self-awareness, your social awareness, and your relationship skills, which are the social emotional learning skills, which according to research is the key to success and happiness. So first, let's talk about the voice. When I was a young girl, I remember my grandma telling me, "Do not speak too loud. It is inappropriate for a young lady to have such a loud voice." Now, I don't know. Perhaps some of you are not using your voice because somewhere in your life, somebody told you you couldn't use it. I grew up in a traditional conservative Filipino background, and I was conditioned to always rely on other people for their wisdom and guidance. The challenge there was, it took me such a long time to realize to listen to my inner wisdom. New York Times bestselling author Rachel Hollis said in her book, "Girl, Stop Apologizing," she said, confidence is the belief that you can trust your gut in the space that you find yourself in and that you can rely on yourself. She added that confidence is a skill. It's not something we're born with. So the question is, how do you train confidence? In drama, we do it with drama and vocal exercises. When we do vocal exercises, we work on vocal projection, tempo, rhythm and rate, pitch, and breathing from the diaphragm. And the average human being breathes between 17,000 to 30,000 times a day. When you breathe well, it benefits your cardiovascular, endocrine, and nervous system. Just slowing down the breath, lengthening the inhalations and exhalations allows you to turn off the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight response, and activates your sympathetic system, which is our rest and digest function. So just by slowing down the breath and doing some of these vocal exercises that we're going to teach you, you're going to have the dual benefits of strengthening your voice and calming down the body. Speaking of bodies, a lot of people struggle with body image. Not just you guys, adults too. According to research, it takes about 45 years for a woman to appreciate her own body. 45 years! That's a long time. I'm like 5 years away from that. Crazy, right? And Photoshop doesn't help. So does the internet, Instagram, and maybe your WeChat moments. You see these posts of perfectly airbrushed bodies, or you all put filters in your photos. And so when you look at these perfect images, what it gives you is a perverted perception of what a real person looks like. And if you're not careful, you compare yourselves to them, and you trigger negative thoughts like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not good enough. And you go down this negative thought spiral. So what do? I create what is called drama yoga, which is a combination of drama exercises and yoga techniques. So for example, in one of my lessons, I combine physical theater with acro yoga, partner poses. So when my students try this, all their fears come out. They're like, I'm not strong enough. I'm not flexible enough. I'm going to drop this person. I might hurt this person. So they feel fear, but they try anyway. They fail, they fall, but eventually they fly. So I took these workshops outside of my classroom and started to do them with adults. So I did personality development workshops, corporate trainings, teacher development workshops. For example, I did an ISTA wellness studio in Singapore. ISTA stands for the International Schools Theater Association, and I worked with educators on how to use drama and yoga for social emotional learning. One of the educators shared that her shame point were her big hips. And then she did acro yoga, where she realized she was the base. So you're the base when you're like lying down and you're lifting somebody else with your hands and your legs. And she realized she can lift people heavier than herself. Like she can fly people, and that she had strength. And guess where she realized her strength came from? Her hips. So she had a mind shift. What was her source of shame became her source of power. So here's the gift, guys. What are your shame trigger or pain points that have the potential to be your passion and purpose in the world? I like giving these classes that become metaphor for real life experiences and opportunities. And to show you living and breathing examples of the kind of students that I have, I invited a few of them here. And we're going to teach you some drama exercises that you can practice at home so that you can be confident. So let's welcome with a big round of applause the students from the International School of Beijing.
I'm Bobby. I'm Jayam. I'm Christine. I'm Christina. And I'm Angel. And we're the ISB drama team.
And because they did all that fancy stuff, doesn't give you an excuse to remain sitting down. So let's all stand up. After all, you've been sitting down for quite a while. Thank you very much. The first exercise I'm going to teach you is how to make your voice louder. So that when a teacher tells you, can you please speak louder? These are exercises you can practice at home, in the toilet, when you're by yourself, or lock yourself up in the room. It's called the bowling ball exercise. Some of these exercises I learned when I was your age in my first drama class with Ana Valdez Lim, who went to the Juilliard School and brought these ideas to the Philippines, where I took my first acting workshop. So I know it works. I've been doing it for years. So, stand up. When you inhale, feel your diaphragm. It's like your belly and it's inflating. Good. Now we're going to show you how it works. We're going to inhale. We're going to imagine this space is a bowling alley and your voice is a bowling ball. And the idea is your voice has to travel. Your voice sits on top of your breath. So it's actually on an exhalation. Okay, so you're going to watch us first, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a bowling ball exercise. Okay, we'll do it first. Inhale. Get your voice, and 1. Now I'm going to ask you to do something really awkward. You're going to bring out these 3 fingers, and you're going to put it inside your mouth. Because that's how big your mouth should be when you do these vocal exercises. Now let's all do it together. We're going to do 1 to 5. Inhale, and throw the ball. 1. Beautiful. We're going to fill this space with your voices. 2. 2. Amazing. I'm seeing more hands now. 3. 3. Beautiful. Use your diaphragm. 4. 4. Now I'm not going to do 5 so that I can hear you guys, okay? Ready and go. Amazing job. Now we're going to do something for your body. Does any one of you experience stage fright? Fear? Nervousness before you're going to on stage? Or, boys, before you ask that girl for the first date? So these are things that you can do to help you gain confidence. First, you stretch. Energy going out of the fingertips like lasers. One of the most watched TED Talks by by Amy was about how body language can affect your thinking. So she called this power posing. All right, now you might have to space yourself out so you don't hit the person beside you because, yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, there's more space so that you don't hit each other because I don't want you to be whacking your classmate. There you go. When I say release, you're going to release with a big diaphragmatic huh. All right, stretch, release. Huh. Stretch, release. Huh. Get in touch with your chi, stretch, release. Huh. Amazing. Now you're going to shake those fingers. Wrists. Ooh, I love this. Elbows. There's a lot of physiological studies on the benefit of shaking, and you guys do the Harlem Shake anyway, so you can do this too. Shoulders. Oh yeah. Put in some neck. And some hips. Go on half dough. You're like, are we really doing this? I know, and we're on camera too. And on the count of three, you let it all out with a big loud sound. 1, 2, 3, ha! Brilliant. You can join us on stage. That was awesome. Okay. See, that's how energy affects the crowd. Now we're going to work on your facial expression. Massage your face. Yeah. Sometimes they call this like face yoga. And just massage it. And then you can tap. Is this part of your skincare regimen? Right? To just draw those blood to your faces. And now when I say pinch, you're going to pinch your face into a tiny, tiny hole. Pinch. Watch their beautiful faces. Explode. Now make it as big as you can. Pinch. Explode. And now you're going to make your body and your face as small as you can. Ready? And pinch. And then when you explode, you make yourself as big as you can. Explode. Awesome. Pinch. Explode. Beautiful. Now I know really what you want to learn from me. You want to learn from me how to look good in selfies, in photos. So I'm going to give you the secret, and this makes my TED Talk worth it. You say, A. All right, 1, 2, 3. Look at me. If I was a beauty queen, this is how I would walk. A. And now you can all look great in photos. Thank you. You can sit down. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Beautiful. And please give my students a big round of applause. So those were exercises that you can practice at home. When you're taking a shower in the morning, stretch, release, huh. When you're in the toilet, pinch, explode. Isn't it appropriate to do it during those times? You might even entertain yourself, right? But those are the things that you do for your voices. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, and your bodies. But there's something that I want you to also remember for your thoughts. Love is greater than fear. Love is the most powerful force in the world. If there's something in your heart that you want to do, if you're passionate about music, the arts, business, or building community, let your love fuel you to push through your fear. And at some point, you might feel like Ray, that you're strapped in this chair, you're trapped, being interrogated by this dark figure in your thoughts, telling you you're not good enough, you can't do this. Tell that voice, I'm not going to give you anything. Tap into the force within yourself and do that thing that gives you joy. Because you are beautiful. You are powerful. You are brilliant. Master Yoda said, you fail because you do not believe. Do or do not. There is no try. Believe in your greatness. Let the force be with you. Thank you.